Thank you very much, 1199, for your advocacy. Thank you for your tenacity. Thank you for everything you do for working people in Boston, in Massachusetts, and how you set the bar high for how a labor union should work in the country. So thank you very much.
The United Health Workers East, also more commonly known as the 1199 ICAU, is a labor union that specifically represents the interest of healthcare workers. For the past decade, since the Massachusetts division was set up in 2005, the organization never stopped fighting for a better life for its members through all kinds of possible channels.
For our workers, they have the right to collectively bargain with the employer around wages, hours, working conditions. That gives them a voice on the job. In addition to that, we are heavily involved in local and state and federal politics, understanding that politics impacts our members' community. So not just at the workplace, but also when they go home.
This year, 1199 ICAU focused their effort heavily on the minimum wage campaign, 5 for 15 and a union. Till now, huge success have been achieved as Massachusetts healthcare workers being the first in nation and also the first low-income group statewide with a $15 per hour minimum wage. However, for the organization, this is just a start.
As a union, as a social justice movement, we realize that all workers have to make it. You know, it's not just healthcare workers, it's not just the industry we represent. Yes, our home care workers got 15, but we know the fight doesn't stop there because there are other things in, just in society in general that we have to maintain and fight for.
Various concerns have been raised towards the hypothetical $15 per hour minimum wage for all. Retailers Association of Massachusetts, who represents the interest of small business owners, is one of the first groups to stand out and oppose the ongoing campaign. They fear that a much higher minimum wage would have a huge negative impact on their members' business, while the demand from low-income earners is not reasonable in the first place.
A minimum wage and a living wage are two different things. A minimum wage is supposed to be a starting wage. It's a wage that we think that teenagers should be earning. It's a wage that first-time employers, unskilled employees should be earning as they learn those skills. And the next step should be they learn the skills and then go on to a next job that's going to pay them more and more likely a living wage.
What they're trying to create is really a misleading type of message that all minimum wage workers are breadwinners of family of four, which absolutely is untrue. Absolutely untrue. They're forgetting about the teenagers, they're forgetting about part-timers, forgetting about college students. A lot of people that really don't have the training and really are just looking for part-time work and looking for a job. You can't do it with a shotgun approach. We've already raised the minimum wage 38%. We've increased the earned income tax credit. These are our progressive, important types of things that have already been done. We can't go overboard and essentially put all these small businesses out of business, or our main streets are going to be devastated and they will never come back.
Meanwhile, with the big leap from $11 per hour to $15 per hour, economists are not so confident with the rush. They worry that the hypothetical highest minimum wage in U.S. history will lead them blind in terms of estimating its social influences due to lack of historical experience.
Suppose we were to raise the minimum wage not to $15 an hour, but to $50 an hour. Then I think most economists would believe that we would see a very big effect of the minimum wage, and it would be negative. We would see a reduction in employment. It would be pretty substantial. $15 is not $50, but it's beyond the historical average, so we're not exactly sure at which point the negative effects would kick in.
If I were in a position to make the decision by myself, I would move slowly. I would wait to see, as we raise the minimum wage above historical levels, whether we start to see more significant adverse effects on employment. If we don't, then I would certainly be supportive of raising the minimum wage even further. But if we do, we want to hold back.
Individuals who would benefit from the hypothetical minimum wage raise are also concerned that this seemingly good news would eventually backfire, causing more money loss than gain.
As an international student, I can only apply for school jobs. The job is very easy, like answering the phones or just the printing paper. Everyone can do it. So I'm afraid if the school are forced to pay me more, I mean, it's not worth it, and they will maybe cancel my position.
Let me hear you scream!
With the triumph of Massachusetts healthcare workers, whether or not more low-income occupational groups will follow and win the $15 minimum wage remains to be seen, as the two sides of the issue continue the debate.
Do we really want higher taxes? Do we really want higher health insurance premiums? We already have the highest health insurance premiums in the world in Massachusetts. And do we really all want higher tuitions? We all know what the problem is with student loans and so forth.
What you'll see is a reverse cycle where folks are putting more money into the economy. We have a more healthier economy. Folks are able not to work so many jobs so they can spend time with their kids to build better communities. I see this particular campaign continuously connected to larger movements around racial and social economic justice across this country and across this world.
For Emerson College, this is Lucas Hou.